So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the principle of scarcity. It's an important sales principle that anyone that's been to any good car business sales training has had some degree of experience with, but it can be used to drive customers away from your business instead of getting them through your sales pipeline. We're going to talk about how to use that principle of scarcity in a way that is attractive to your business and doesn't drive customers away. It's an important thing to talk about in this episode of Down Payment.
Welcome to Down Payment, the podcast for used car dealers. Prepare to learn something new about the industry that keeps us moving.
Check out all our podcast content on our social media channels. We are at Down Payment Podcast on YouTube, Down Payment Podcast on Instagram, and Down Payment Pod on X. Welcome back. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the principle of scarcity and how we use the urgency that it creates in a positive way for our sales process and not in a negative way that drives our customers away. So anyone that's been to any amount of recent sales training within the last 20 years has probably had some degree of familiarity with the principle of scarcity. It's been a very popular topic in sales training in the last 20, 25 years. And it has driven a lot of what I call negative sales training, stuff that is overly psychologically pressuring on the customer. And sometimes it works in the short term. It will get that customer to buy that car that day, but it drives a sales experience where they never want to return to that dealership ever again. So how do we use the principle of scarcity? How do we create a sense of urgency with our customers without it feeling as undue pressure? So by urgency, we want to offer guidance to the customer without pressuring them. We want to still be showing genuine care and advocacy and meeting them where they're at. We want to help the customer find the right vehicle or deal that fits their needs. And it might be a popular vehicle, and it might be a vehicle that sells fast. And so we can express that without, you need to come here right now in order to buy this car. Because when we tell our customer, you need to get down here right away, don't talk to me over the phone, I don't have time to deliver you pricing, you need to come here right now to buy this thing because I have 5 other people with appointments on this vehicle later in the day. First of all, that is almost never authentic. It's almost never sincere. But it also creates a situation where the customer either needs to comply and buy from you right now, which they are never going to be thrilled with having to treat the sales process like a true emergency, or where they literally have to break contact with you and go buy somewhere else. Urgency should be delivered in a way that feels supportive and not forceful. You want to have urgency that decreases anxiety rather than raises it. So how do you deliver that effectively? How do you deliver urgency without undue pressure? Well, first of all, link it to what the customer is looking for. You need to have a good process where you get the needs assessment from the customer, understand where they're at, and meet their pacing accordingly. We need to be able to sell according to the customer's pace, not because we only have one speed and that's what we default to. So if the customer has a priority for vehicle safety or fits their family or fits their budget or meets the requirements of a daily commute they have or fits their lifestyle, so they need something that off-roads and has four-wheel drive, we want to link urgency to their priorities. And you want it to be empathetic, respecting their pace and acknowledging their timelines. So if the customer is telling me that they're looking for a vehicle in the next month because they're going to give their car to their kid, and I say, well, you need to buy this now, today, and they're saying a month, there's a mismatch there. And that's potentially very likely to drive that customer away. You want to offer options when you're offering urgency, like, this is what I have now, and this is what I project in the next week, instead of ultimatums like get down here. And you want to customize with follow-up to address the customer motivations and what their priorities are. So if the customer is not concerned about getting the vehicle in a specific color, and they may think the blue color is nice, but that's not a big deal to them, I'm not going to create a lot of urgency by getting them to come and buy this blue car. It needs to be something driven by their priorities. Example. So here's some example scripts. Like, no rush, I want you to be informed so you don't miss the right opportunity. Or, your trade value is strong today, I'll keep you updated, but I expect it's going to be decent for now. Or, this trim or this color is rare, I'll notify you if something similar comes in. They're encouraging scripts rather than being overly pushy. So, what is the manager to do to coach and mentor this use of urgency without providing undue pressure? You want to train your sales team to recognize urgency as advocacy. It's not persuasive. We don't want to use these as persuasion tactics. And you want to see what matters most to your customer base. Avoid these really generic, cheesy lines that your customers are getting from all the dealerships in your area about how this deal won't last, this vehicle won't last. You want to have a personalized message of, I know that you're looking for a Jeep Wrangler in these model years. I only get these a few times on the lot, and I have one now. I know there's some strong interest in it. I wanted to contact you first. That's personalizing it. Use role playing and use scenario training to explore this out. This is something that is going to have a little bit of a personal style and vary from dealership to dealership as far as how you approach it, and differ from salesman to salesman. All of our salespeople don't have to be delivering the exact same message the exact same way. We want to have our scripted lines ready, but we use those only in really specific focus points. Over the duration of the sales experience, we want to have some sort of elasticity that works for the individual salesperson's style and personality. We aren't a restaurant. We aren't selling steaks. We cannot use the exact same script to sell the exact same thing the exact same way every single time. We need to have creative, intelligent, articulate salespeople that are well-trained to employ these techniques in a way that's authentic. And that's what matters most. If you can do that, you can use urgency to sell cars, but in a way that doesn't literally piss off your customers. I would love to hear your thoughts on the best ways to do this. There's a lot for dealerships to explore here, a lot of opportunity. With that, go sell some cars. It's been another episode of Down Payment. Check out our podcast on all our social media channels. We are at Down Payment Podcast on YouTube, Down Payment Podcast on Instagram, and Down Payment Pod on X.
Thank you for listening. Down Payment, the podcast for used car dealers, is a production of Meta Financial Services Incorporated.